What? So, I was thinking the other day.
How are you now?
And,
what were you thinking about?
Well, that's for me to know, and you
What are you thinking about?
to tell you.
I couldn't hold it in once you started cracking a smile. Did you just say that's for me to know and for you to tell you?
Sure, yeah.
Pretty sure you did.
So, what were you thinking about?
No, what were you thinking about?
That's for you to know and you to tell me.
Right, exactly. You were thinking about Swedish pancakes and how much you like them with Door County cherry jam. I think it's
That would
jelly.
be a rough combo to acquire if one's in Sweden and the other's in not Sweden.
Ah, but you see, you can get Swedish pancakes from the Cedar Creek Mill in Cedarburg.
Those aren't really Swedish.
And you
are
can
they?
get Door County cherry jam from the Cedar Creek Mill in Cedarburg.
This doesn't seem very Swedish or Dorish.
Well, they're imported.
From a door?
No, that's the name of the county.
Oh. Imagine, like, you've got your state or what have you, okay?
Sure.
You've got about 100 different places to name. Imagine literally having no better name than door.
Well, actually, it's really descriptive because it's, it's the peninsula in Wisconsin. And when the early French explorers went into Green Bay, right?
Yeah, they did.
They'd have to go into the bay. It's kind of a long, skinny bay, but there's a couple ways in. You can go through, like, Door County. So it's like a doorway into the bay. And then that's how they got to the rest of Wisconsin, because then they'd go down the Fox, or up the Fox River, through Lake Winnebago, which I believe the Fox River goes out of Lake Winnebago, but they were going up from Green Bay, so they'd have gone through where Appleton is now, and then they'd gone back out at Oshkosh, and then at Portage, guess what they did?
Yeah.
That's not a guess. At Portage, they... Portaged.
They invented the USB port.
No, they portaged
Oh, I thought that was that.
their
verb.
canoes across to the Wisconsin River, which then hooked up with the Mississippi, and you could travel all the way from the Atlantic Ocean into the Gulf of Mexico, and you'd only have to pick up your canoes a little bit.
Or you could do it by land and never have to pick up a canoe at all.
Or you could do it by going from the Atlantic Ocean into the Gulf of Mexico in your canoe. I wouldn't do that, though. I'd bring a bigger boat.
Depends on how big your canoe is. How big of a canoe do you think you could make?
How big of a canoe could I make?
Yes.
I mean, how much time do I have?
3 years.
I think the limit here really
Is the second
is
year.
what constitutes... well, what constitutes a canoe?
Like
Because,
common acceptance.
well, if you make a canoe bigger and bigger, at what point does it just become a boat, like a big
Well, it
boat?
depends on how you're using it, you know? Like if it's got a bunch of seats in a row and then a bunch of people paddling, then it's a canoe. I think what constitutes it is you can have one, maybe two people across.
Sure.
So it's a longer than long ship.
I could probably make a pretty big canoe.
Ladies and gentlemen, the consensus is pretty big.
I would think so. Welcome back to the Waukee Talkie, everybody.
Thank you.
I feel like we've been over this once before, but you're not everybody.
I don't know if everybody agrees with that. In fact, I disagree.
Well, that's good, because you're not everybody. So, in fact, I don't know what that means, really. I guess not everybody would agree with that. This is a neatly decorated thing. I don't know if that's like a house or a restaurant. The front looks like a restaurant, but the rest of it looks like a house. Nope, that is Pandal's Whitefish Bay Inn. That is a restaurant.
Why would they call it an inn if the out looks cooler?
You haven't seen the inn.
I just did.
You have,
Well, I guess I saw the out.
saw the out. You haven't seen the rest of it.
You're right.
It's pretty baller.
Have you seen it?
No.
Understandable.
So, we're here today, episode 6, with our very special guest,
Roni.
Roni Rafael Rodriguez. Say hi. The late, great Roni Rafael Rodriguez. Good to have you on the show.
Mm-hmm. We've been trying to get you on the show since episode 5.
Not true at all.
No, it isn't.
And so, as we gather here today, in loving memory of Roni Rafael Rodriguez,
Which one?
the big one.
The big one. Everybody loves the big one. You've left me not enough room to critique you. I was anticipating on saying which memory, not which Roni. You've encompassed all of this. The big one.
That's great.
He was.
Speaking of great, those are some ballin' Christmas lights.
A bit late. But I dig it. Those are Valentine's lights. They had a big heart
Why
on
do
their
we have... Oh. I mean, I was about to say, why do we even have Valentine's lights? But
I'm not.
they were cool looking, so...
Yeah.
So...
Just for the record, let me get the story straight.
Okay. Me and Uncle Tom were fishing. It was getting pretty late. We were out on a cypress limb above the wishing well. The one where they say it ain't got no bottom, so it take you down to hell.
You know, when I was little, sometimes I did naughty things and then I got a spanking. So, in the same way, I can relate to having no bottom.
Well, okay. So, then we saw me and Uncle Tom.
You saw you and Uncle Tom.
No. Me and Uncle Tom saw, because we were out fishing, right?
Oh, sure.
But over in the bushes off to the right, there were these two guys talking
Mm-hmm.
in the pale moonlight.
Oh.
It was Sheriff John Brady and the deputy, and they were carrying two limp bodies to the water side.
This story's getting kind of lame. So let me tell you what I did last week, okay?
Sure.
I went over to my house, yeah?
Yeah.
And when I got there, nobody was really home yet. So I did homework.
Okay.
And then they got home and we talked and had dinner.
Sure.
Sorry, I just thought I'd switch it up because Seemed like your
no, that
story
was a much
getting-
more interesting story.
Yeah.
A big house.
Oh yeah?
Comparatively, not really, but
Absolutely. Which house is big?
that one back there is pretty big.
Yeah, I'm not looking for pretty big. I'm looking for big. Like
Like
the
Mr.
big
Big?
one. Like the big one big.
Mr. Big.
Mr. Biggs.
Mr. Biggs. Yo, Mr. Biggs. Yo, Mr. Biggs. Mr. Biggs!
Yeah.
Yeah. Now that's the big one.
Yeah.
It's only fairly big.
Yeah.
That one's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That one would be cool, but it's actually 2 houses.
Yeah. You know what's the most metal thing to do? Frickin' stop speak English altogether and make your own language up with one word. That's what I'm talking about. But next to that, what if we like had a metal band? Okay? Let's start there. You're right, we do. But here's what we do. We break up and then we just form the exact same metal band for absolutely no reason. Lost you in the dialect there. Roni doesn't speak no metal. Roni doesn't speak.
That's too bad. I was hoping he could explain things.
When you're as infamous as Roni, you don't speak, listen, hear, sniff, or cook.
You want to repeat that?
When you're as infamous as Roni, you don't speak, listen, hear, sniff, or cook.
Speak, listen, hear, sniff, cook.
Which is pretty metal. Surprising me that he doesn't know that. I guess he does know the language. He just doesn't listen, speak, or cook, or sniff. I think. Nope, they had a red too. Oh. What is? Okay. Say you've got a snowbank, right? Conventional wisdom will say that if it's yellow, you shouldn't eat it, right?
Typically, it would be a bad idea.
Now, that's because that's the color of pee, okay?
It's also the color of incandescent lighting.
And we don't eat those either.
And the traditional color of the sun in works of art.
And we don't eat those either.
Usually the color of macaroni and cheese.
And we don't eat those. Wait, we do eat those. That's
well,
not,
you're like 1 for 4.
that's not what I'm getting at. Basically, what people are missing is your pee's only yellow if you haven't drinking enough that day. If you like went ham on the H2O, it's gonna be like clear, right?
Right.
So
we should avoid clear snow.
So the snow that doesn't have a changed color could just be healthily peed on, right?
Well, then it's healthy pee.
Well, sure, but
You can drink healthy pee.
oh, that's fair. Yeah, I guess that's why everybody's been eating this normal snow this whole time.
Well, I actually like lemon flavored.
Oh. Where do you get that from?
You see the yellow stuff in the snowbank, you just start eating.
The snow or the food you've brought with you?
The lemon flavored. Would you go to a Harry's Bar and Grill?
Is the bar and grill Harry, or am I?
The name of the guy who owns the place, his name is actually Harry. I've never noticed this house here before. That's a really cool house.
Yeah, it's like one of the cooler houses right there.
It's actually the coolest house on its property. You can't say that about every house.
There might actually be 2 buildings there. Wouldn't even be entirely surprised.
Me neither.
Of course I wouldn't go to a Harry's bar. Are you kidding me? It's the stupidest thing I've heard all night. We're supposed to be talking intelligibly on this channel, and you're over here blabbing about Harry's bar like that's some consideration of some sort. You're upsetting Roni.
Did I ever tell you?
You're talking to me or Roni?
Both.
Because you're on thin ice.
I told
both.
all of you guys the same things. So, I only need one answer.
Okay.
Did I ever tell you about the time when I was at my uncle's house? My Uncle Mike.
Is he closely related to your Uncle Tom?
Yes. He's on my mom's side and Tom's on my dad's.
But they're closely
But they're both
related.
uncles.
Oh, they're uncly related.
Yeah.
So why is your Uncle Mike?
I assume because my grandparents had some kids, and he was one of them.
Oh, no, you hadn't told me about that. But
Although in this case, he's technically my great uncle, so it would be my great grandparents had some kids, but that's
here and there.
and everywhere.
No, but thank you for informing me.
So we were up at a camp in Colorado, and they served green eggs.
Yeah. I probably made those green eggs.
Yeah.
Did you like them?
No.
It's because they have bad eggs.
But here's what's funny.
Eggs are always bad.
My Uncle Mike once served green eggs.
I'm sorry.
He doesn't live in Colorado.
How did he serve green eggs?
He lives in Minnesota.
This doesn't add up.
No.
I don't get it.
I thought those were like an altitude thing. Maybe it was like a latitude thing.
Yeah.
Like your distance from the equator.
Yeah, probably. Sometimes I feel distant from the equator. You know what I'm saying?
But my Uncle Mike's wife, she's a really good chef.
Does she make green eggs?
No. He's also a pretty good chef.
But he makes green eggs.
He doesn't make green eggs.
You lied to me?
No, I just made that up.
Oh. Just made it up.
Does your Uncle Mike ever make green eggs?
Let me think. No.
Why not?
think he's not a big fan of eggs, but it also helps that I don't have an Uncle Mike.
That would do it.
Oh, they have the Dr. E through. Vope?
Vope? Why don't you have an Uncle Mike? I thought everybody had an Uncle Mike.
I was born that way.
What, did you, like, get a couple extra chromosomes or something?
No, I just didn't have the Uncle Mike chromosomes.
That's rough.
For him. You know, last time we were on this road, somebody was going to call the cops on us.
That's true. And you guys heard all about it.
Unless you didn't. But that's here and there.
But that would be your fault, because you didn't watch episode 2.
It's okay, neither did I. Except I probably did.
You made episode 2.
Is it considered watching after your kids if you're the parent? Wait, ignore me. Like, when you say
Is
you're
that supposed to be a serious question?
It was initially, because when you say you're watching after some kids, it's usually somebody else's. But then it's like, wait. That's just because it's assumed you're watching over them if it's yours. So, honestly, I had a seizure foreclosure on my brain earlier this week. Government literally took it. So, I'm not thinking a top priority. They gave me a loaner. I think it's somebody from the,
Probably Department of Waste Management.
Probably.
Never known them to be very bright.
I was really hoping.
You know, I'm trying to think.
So am I, but I have somebody's
If you
brain
take-
from the Department of Waste Management.
So, like, you can have, if you have 2 X chromosomes, so you're a girl, right?
No, I'm not.
Then, well, right? If you had 2 of those, right, a lot of the traits are, like, on both. You have duplicate copies of certain things or whatever, so your body just kind of ignores one of them. Like, it kind of picks one to ignore something in certain cells. Maybe it's not all the time, but, like, quite frequently, right?
Sure.
So, like, Down syndrome is caused by having a third 21st chromosome. You have 3 of them. So I kind of wonder what it would be that causes your body to not just kind of ignore one of the 3. Like, you'd think that process is already available to it. It's clearly a thing that can be done.
I mean, what's doing the thinking to say that you don't have that?
Oh.
Probably the same thing that would, like, that would be the thinking to not use that would be developed after you have it, you know? Everything's just sort of coming together before then.
I guess I don't know enough about what causes the symptoms of Down syndrome, or, like, what about that 21st chromosome leads to it.
Neither do I.
Well, that's a non-starter. It's a Lexus and a Porsche dealership here. Those are some nice cars.
Yeah.
Lexuses, I mean.
Oh, of course. Toyota dealerships back there.
Whew. Now you're talking.
I got my very own ride from there, you know?
The song?
No, not the song. That one hasn't come out yet. I'll tell you when it does, though.
Thank you. thinking...
I'm trying to, but I have a loner.
Did I ask if you were thinking? I don't recall doing that.
Oh. Did I
I
answer?
said that I was thinking. I don't remember if you said you were thinking.
Did I answer?
Yes.
Okay.
You should not have.
Okay.
You can't answer a question
Okay.
that hasn't been asked.
I'll show you again.
That would be detestable.
To who?
The Lord detests those who answer when no question is asked.
Really?
And most of all, the dog rock detests those who answer questions which were not asked.
Oh, shoot. I hope he doesn't revoke my prophethood. But I'm on a loner break, so it doesn't count,
I don't
right?
think the dog rock will revoke your prophethood. Did you know that this man right here is a prophet of the dog rock?
Did you know that this man is a lesser prophet of the dog rock?
I am the prophet who is healed of my laceration, which, being that I have healed of my laceration, as one would expect, makes me the great epic man. Now, you have a laceration, right? The dog rock has decreed.
It's only if you have one
laceration, right? The dog rock has made a decree. This is like news. This is only a few months ago. The dog rock has decreed.
Why did he need to get over?
He doesn't like you. The dog rock has decreed that he who contains one laceration is a stupid, dummy idiot. Now, I had a laceration, so this was troubling to me, but I appealed to the dog rock, and the dog rock gave forth his word. He who is healed of his laceration. It's just his. He who is healed of his laceration.
Oh.
Is the great epic man. So I think I'm the coolest one here.
Wasn't I also healed of my laceration?
Yeah, but I am the prophet who healed his laceration. You're just the prophet.
I'll have to prophesy some more in my favor.
I feel like prophesying in your favor. That's just called making things up.
No!
Yeah? Uh-huh.
The dog rock says it isn't.
No vocal prophecies. The dog rock says so. If you're gonna prophesy, you have to write it down. Dog rock just told me. No vocal prophecies allowed. Can't do it.
I wish he would speak to me.
Yeah, but you won't, because you're trying to vocally prophesy. You gotta be writing this stuff down. See here, I'm writing it down by saying it.
Oh, he's vocally writing it down.
No, I'm writing it down by saying it.
Oh. Oh shoot, we're gonna fly off the road. We weren't even too fast for a curve. According to the sign. Oh shoot, Alex is flying off the road.
I think we went too fast for the curve.
Well.
Have you heard the good news?
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance?
Up to 15% or more.
No, that's just not in the ad. That just got made up by mathematicians. definitions who thought they were clever. Have you heard that it is impossible for the phrase, the more you spend, the more you save, to be more mathematically incorrect?
Well, you can't.
Depends on your definition of saving, of course. But if you're just talking about, like, price cut, but as far as actually saving money, no. Because when you give someone else money, you don't save that money. And when you don't give someone else that money, you theoretically save that money.
Oh. But what if you do?
Then you will.